All right, so we're going to do some application problems today out of your book. So these are going to be found on page 70. We're going to do these three, so I'm not going to go back and forth between my screens here. I'm going to just go to the book and I'm going to write on the page with it, okay? You ready? Okay, so let's start with number 87. All right, I'm right here in the middle. Go ahead and read it yourself. You have to go to where there's three rectangles down at the bottom and then click it, and then you can delete whatever page it's on and then type in your page 70. Yes. Okay, so part A, this is really not too bad. They give you the equation, right? Everybody see it? This is concentration of a drug in the bloodstream T hours after ingestion. Okay. Determine the concentration at 1 hour, 12 hours, 24 hours, and 48 hours. Round to the nearest decimal place. So what are you going to do with those numbers? Plug them in. So let's split this up a little bit here. Let's go, Julie and Oscar, you guys do 1 hour. Let's go, Matthew and Jacob, you guys do 12 hours. Ladies, you guys do 24 hours, and I'll do 48 hours. All right, so you should be doing the numerator, you should be doing the denominator, then you should be dividing them, and it says we're rounding to 1 decimal place here. Gentlemen, you got an answer for 1 back there? 4.8? That would be nanograms per milliliter. Okay, nanograms per milliliter. Gentlemen up here, you have a number for 12 for me? Say it again. 3.9. Ladies, how about for 1 day? 1.0. And for 2 days, I have 0.3. Any questions on that? No? Okay, part B. What appears to be the limiting concentration for large values of T? As T gets bigger and bigger and bigger, what's going to happen? Keeps going down. And what's it going to go down to? 0. Eventually, you have nothing left in your bloodstream as far as that drug is concerned. Does that make sense, everybody? So 0 would be the limiting value. Any questions about that? Yep, just 0. Okay, let's move on to number 89. So we're looking at this yellowish colored triangle here. Okay, how am I going to find the perimeter, folks? I am. And if I add them, am I going to have all the common denominators that I want? No. What is the LCD going to be? Okay, so this needs to be multiplied by x, this needs to be multiplied by x, and this needs multiplied by x plus 1. I think I'm going to start up there in the upper right, and then I'm going to work my way around counterclockwise. So that'll be 2x for that upper right. This will be 5x over here on the left. And here I'm going to distribute this 6. It'll be 6x plus 6. And that's all over my LCD. How is that for everybody? Any questions at all? Put together your like terms. That'll be 13 x's plus 6 all over x times x plus 1. Can you simplify that? I can't because this is a binomial. This x is not a factor. So if there was an x out front, then yes, but not the way that is right there. We're going to leave it just like that. Okay. Let's go to 91, which is right below that purple triangle. This time I want area. How do I find the area of a triangle? Say it again. Multiply what? Length times width, also base times height. But it's a triangle. 1/2 of that. Okay, remember I can multiply anything I want together here. Okay, when we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. So this will give me a 4 in the numerator. What am I going to get in the denominator? 2 radical 2x. Notice these two things are both under the radical, so they get multiplied under the radical. I'm going to reduce this first. I'm going to go ahead and cancel those out. So now I'm looking at that. And we're not going to leave that radical in the denominator. We're going to rationalize it. So what will the new numerator be? 2 radical 2x over, and again, I can reduce. So my final answer will just be radical 2x all over x. How are we doing applying those, folks? Just fine? Okay. Let's go to 93. Okay. So my first two fractions are being multiplied. Then I'm supposed to be dividing by that thing. Can I change this into all multiplication? How? So I'm going to make this a times sign, and I'm basically going to put that on the bottom. What do I need to do here in order to multiply this? If I was adding, yes. Remember, with multiplying and dividing, we don't need to find an LCD. There you go. We're going to factor and see if we can cancel stuff out. So this will be xy that I can take out of that one, which leaves me with x plus 3. Everybody following that okay? Over here, I can take out a 2, which leaves me with an x plus 3. And then the numerator actually is going to factor into a perfect square trinomial. X and x, 3 and 3, and then plus and plus. Any issues there? Okay, so let's go ahead and reduce. X plus 3, x plus 3, x plus 3, x plus 3. 2 and 2. X and x. No, I can't do that. Those are both on the bottom. I can't do this one. Yeah. Yep. So that's going to stay there. So I can get rid of this x on the top, which makes it x squared, but then I can also reduce that with this one on the bottom, can I? So what's that actually going to be up there? Just xy. I'll get there in a second. Say that again. Okay, so this x can cancel out with that one. That takes it down 1. But then we can take it this one as well. So now it's just an x. And then we also have y's in there too. Does everybody see those y's can go? Is that okay? All right, well, what's left now? Numerator, what's left? I just have an x on top. You're okay? So we got an x in the numerator. What's in the denominator? 5y to the fourth. Questions? Sure? Okay. Let's come down here and try 95 then. This is going to take us a minute. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all this. Now you'll notice that the first part's in parentheses, so I need to do that subtraction first. And then I'm going to multiply it by that t plus 8. Yep, I am going to factor first. This part down here. Now, if I were a betting person, if I were a gambler, I would bet that this is going to be a factor over here. This 2t plus 1. So that's what I would guess first. So if that's 2t plus 1, this has to be a t, and that would have to be an 8. And that would also have to be a plus. Does it work? Yep. We make a 16 on the edges and a 1 in the middle, which makes a 17 altogether. Okay, so now that I have that, what's my LCD going to be? Okay, so my first fraction needs multiplied by t plus 8 over t plus 8. I think I'm going to bring that up top here. So I have 4t plus 32. And then I have to subtract the t from the numerator of the second fraction. And now that's over my LCD. Any questions so far here? No? Okay, combine your like terms. This gives me 3t plus 32 over my LCD. Can I factor the numerator any further? The numerator, the only possibility I have there is take out a t, right? Or take out a 3. And 32 won't divide by 3. So now I'm ready to go ahead and multiply by t plus 8. Where is that t plus 8? The numerator or the denominator? The numerator. So now I'm able to reduce those t plus 8s. And my final answer will be 3t plus 32 all over 2t plus 1. Any issues there? Not too bad. A lot of work, a lot of steps. Problem is if you mess up one little step, one little symbol or sign, that's it. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next page. And I would like to look at 99, please. Oh, where is 99? There it is. Did your guys' book do this too? It lags. Yeah, I would prefer. There it is, 99. Okay, so I have to simplify it. You notice all the negative exponents, right? Okay, so basically what's going to happen is this big fraction is going to have 4 little fractions inside of it. Okay, so the 1 is going to stay as it is in the numerator. Then this will be minus 1 over a, because that negative first power is going to push that to its own little bottom fraction. Then we have minus 6 over a squared, because that negative 2 power is going to push that a down to the bottom. Notice the 6 stayed. Okay, the 6 was not an issue. All over 1 minus 4 over a plus 3 over a squared. Okay, so we're going to treat this like two separate problems. We're going to do the numerator, we're going to do the denominator, then we're going to divide them. What is the LCD in the numerator? A squared. So this one needs multiplied by a squared over a squared. This one, yeah. Why did someone go to the bottom and someone don't? So like why'd the 6 stay up top? Yeah. Because the 6 doesn't have a negative power on it. The a has a negative power on it. So the 6 is going to stay and then the a is going to go. Same thing in the bottom, how that 4 stayed up. Yep. The negative power is only on the variable, so that's the only part that has to get moved. All right, so now I've got to get my LCD of a squared. So when I do all this multiplying, I'm going to get an a squared minus a minus 6 all over my new LCD, which is a squared. That's just the numerator. I'm going to have to do the same thing with the denominator. The LCD again is going to be a squared. And when I multiply, I get a squared minus 4a plus 3 all over a squared. Any ideas on what might have to happen next? We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Is everybody okay with me trying to factor these while I do that? Okay, so what is the numerator going to factor into? And that's over a squared times, I'm going to move the a squared from the denominator to the numerator. What is the denominator going to factor into? Yep, a minus 3 and a minus 1. So now I can reduce. A minus 3's, a squared, for a final answer of a plus 2 over a minus 1. Please do not try and reduce those a's. Those are in binomials. They are not factors. Questions? It's going to be close, but I think I'm going to make it. I think your guys' test is going to start tomorrow. Yeah. Let's look at 103. Let's do a nice easy one. Number 103 here. The very last one, it might take me a little bit. So I'm looking at 103. Okay, so I need to simplify this. Well, it doesn't look like there's any issues here because I don't see any radicals in the bottom. I don't have any fractions I need to combine. What do you think I should be doing here? What can I take out of radical 48? Four times 12, you get the 4 is perfect, right? You can actually take out something bigger, so we just do it in one step, though. 16. Okay, you can do the 4, but then you're going to have to do 4 again, Riley. So if I take out a 16, what's the square root of 16? So the 4 comes out. What is 48 divided by that 16? And this is all over 6. Now don't forget that you can reduce this. All of those coefficients can be divided by 2. For a final answer that looks like that. Okay. Let's look at 105 next. What do you notice this time around? Not in the right order on top, so you can switch it around. What else do you notice? There's 4, so how am I going to factor this? Group them. Do you all want to rearrange it, or do you want to group it as it is? It doesn't matter to me. You're going to get the same answer either way. I just want to know what you guys prefer. Rearrange? Okay, so let me rearrange this then. And now I'm going to group. Do you guys want to take that negative symbol out too, or leave the negative where it's at? Take it out. So I'm going to totally let's take that negative out. So it looks like that. Now we can group. What can you take out of the first group? X squared. What's left if you take out an x squared? We start with a minus sign. What can you take out of the second group? Which leaves me with an x plus 5 again. So I have a negative out front. I have x squared minus 9, and I have x plus 5. Everybody all right with that? And then you're going to factor your x squared minus 9 again as well, I hope. Yes? Okay, so I'm going to put that down here. So that's my numerator. Denominator, let's just group it as it is. What can you take out of the first group? Okay. What's left when you take out an x squared? Okay, we're going to take out a negative for the second group. What can you take out of there? Okay, what's left? X minus 3. So I'm going to have x squared minus 25 times x minus 3. Then we're going to factor the x squared minus 25 again. Oops. And now we're ready to reduce everything. Is that all right for everybody? Are we sure that's okay? Yeah? Okay. The last one that I have is number 107. That front part there, yep. Yep. All right. So what do we think about 107 here? LCD of what? Mm-hmm. So now what do I do with it? Yep, we flip and multiply. So this is t plus 6, like that. So if I multiply across the top, I have that. Any questions? Is that going okay? Okay, so this needed to multiply by t over t, which made that t plus 2 all over t. Is that all right? So then this numerator I just put over 1. Then we're going to flip the bottom and multiply. Nothing cancels out though, right? So now it looks like this. But remember, that's only this first portion. We still have to subtract t, and we still have to subtract 4. So now what? LCD for all of them. So we'll finish this problem tomorrow. I'll give you your homework, and you guys can work on that in class tomorrow. We'll check it before you leave, and then your test will be Monday, Tuesday.